Diary, and Sheila Chelangat will be joining me later on. But then before that, just look at what you are expected to see today. The 8th Devolution Conference is expected to kick off today, all the way till the 19th of August, as Kenya marks 10 years of devolution. This conference has been themed 10 years of devolution, the present and the future. And we were definitely there with very own William Mwege, or Mwege William, giving us some live pictures of what is happening there, the mood there, how security has been beefed up, how, last-minute preparations, even as we expect President William Ruto to officially launch this particular devolution conference, the first ever biennial conference, by the way. And Sheila Chelangat will be expounding more on that just in a minute. Away from that, into matters money. Starting Tuesday, which is today, all M-Pesa customers will enjoy increased daily transaction limits and increased account limits of 500,000 Kenyan shillings, following the approval of the Central Bank of Kenya. I don't know if you've actually tried it, sending more than 500,000 Kenyan shillings. Well, if you are capable of doing that, you can confirm to us if that is actually, working. In matters agribusiness, the National Coffee Exchange is expected to be reopened today, as ordered by its Chief Executive, Rhys Bandungu. 11 farmers' cooperative unions will take part in the trading and auction for the first time in history of NCE. And also today is India will be celebrating its 77th Independence Day. This day is, celebrated every 15th of August, marked by hosting the national flag and singing the national anthem. And I do have with me here Sheila Chelangat. How are you doing?
Good morning, I'm good.
I'm Minko Salama Pia. And by the way, I don't know, are you from Uasin Gishu or?
Yes, we all assume that, but I wouldn't say no. Yes.
So technically, it's home for you.
It is home. I studied there, so I would call that home for me.
The fact that you'd really call it home, how big of a deal for you is having the first ever biennial devolution conference in such a place? Because all other 46 counties will, are coming to Uasin Gishu County, and definitely they're going to be benchmarking, how the roads are looking like, how the infrastructure is looking like. It's 10 years now for Uasin Gishu County alone, even. How big of a deal do you think it is for this county?
Obviously, it is quite big of a deal. We have always gotten used to everything being done in Nairobi. And so having it in Uasin Gishu for the first time and welcoming you all to the County of Champions, it means so much to us. It's not just...
You had to add that there.
It's not just about that we can run. Now you can see on the ground, the developments that have happened in the area. We have the roads, the road network, the health, and every other thing, matters devolution. Okay. And then it is quite big of a deal, because then we have welcomed you to see what we have done in 10 years and what we need to now change and look forward to in the next 10, 100 that are coming ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
In that particular place, but as you say, the County of Champions. Sawa. What else is happening today, by the way, apart from now all this devolution conference?
Yes. So bringing you home to Nairobi, we are now back at it again, WorldCoin. Okay. Just today, the Parliamentary Committee on Communication Innovation will be having the Data Commissioner, Data Protection Commissioner, Oscar Otieno, with them. And they just want to look at what is the safety and security of the data that already Kenyans who had already registered on this WorldCoin looks like for them, and how safe is their data when they say that they already scanned their eyeballs. Then what does that mean for these Kenyans? Are they at risk of their data being stolen or used in ways that are, not really right? So, yesterday, this comes even amid them presenting papers before court yesterday, wanting now for them to completely halt the activities of WorldCoin in the country. So then, he also had alluded before that, Kenyans' data could not be necessarily really safe. So we would be very eager to see what he has to tell that committee for sure.
It's definitely. Away from that, away from matters, the eyeballs.
Let's go matters coffee. This show is all about coffee. Today, the Nairobi Coffee Exchange auction will be reopened, and it will be presided by Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Now, everyone is wondering, what is this really about? It is just an auction sort of where buyers and sellers come and meet, and then the sellers sample their coffee to the best buyers in the world. And it is happening for the first time, and a record of about 11 farmer cooperatives will be present today at the auction. So it is quite a record for them.
It's definitely, and even this, coming on the backdrop of coffee reforms by the government, we have seen Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua really being on the forefront of this, and even recently President William Ruto saying, I'll actually be on the forefront of having all this coffee reform. So this is going to be a big deal.
Quite true, because when you look at it, earlier this year, around in May, President William Ruto noted that Kenya potentially has the best coffee, grade 1. That is what he said, grade 1 of coffee. And therefore, we need to look at a way where we can now market our coffee for export, not only just within Africa, but also internationally. And therefore, this coffee exchange auction really comes at a time when we are trying to ensure that coffee farmers get the value of what they had sowed.
It's definitely. Away from matters coffee and some hot kahawa.
And so apart from that is that we have now Kenyans will be now transacting up to $500,000 on M-Pesa payments. And this really is a boost for businesses, small, medium enterprises, where now they can transact 500,000. Before, initially, they would transact up to 300,000. And Safaricom released a statement saying that for the last financial year to March 2023, that about 1.6 trillion was transacted, and that is for over 600,000 businesses. Quite some lump sum of money. And then, therefore, by increasing the limit, it means that more business will be happening in Kenya, and maybe let's look forward to a better economy then.
It's definitely. Have you tried transacting above that money?
What are you trying to say, Stanley?
All right. Thank you very much, Sheila Chelangat. So much. Even as we also focus on matters, the whole devolution and the whole devolved units. Let's take a stock on how devolved units have functioned so far since its inception back in 2013 under the whole regime of former President Uhuru Kenyatta. Apollo Kamau, took his time to actually prepare this. Let's take a look at how this is.
The quest to address the country's regional imbalance has always been a bitter pill for Kenya's powerful elites at the central government, not just after the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution, when the Trust 4 funds and factions split the devolved units in the national government, but at independence, where the real struggle for Majimboism or federalism began.
And much of Kenya's best land was given to British war veterans.
Majimboism, originally a tool for the white settlers to accumulate wealth, protect property and marginalize Kenyans along tribal and regional lines, gained traction at the first Lancaster House Conference in 1960, where the Majimbo Constitution was formed after heated disagreements to cure the same problem it started, paving way for the country's first Senate and the House of Representatives. Founding father of the nation, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, who had half-heartedly accepted the Majimbo constitution after winning the KANU elections in 1963, used his Mr. Fix-It then, Home Affairs Minister Jaramogi Odinga, to fix the Majimbo dilemma, as they both believed in a unitary state, compared to former President Daniel Moi and Ronald Gala, who were in KADU and key proponents of Majimbo.
Majimbo was not tried. Majimbo was not given a chance. Majimbo was killed at birth. It was a stillbirth because the mother had decided to squeeze the baby between her thighs and before it even saw the light. The founding fathers had made it very clear that we will not implement.
But you remember the Majimbo constitution has created the counties also, the county councils. But the county councils were strong. Not the remnants that you saw towards the time you people are being born. Like the county council of Kiambu, revenue-wise, or the county council of Muranga, or the county council of Wareng. Wareng is Uasin Gishu, or Meru. They had more resources than the central government. They were in charge of education, they were in charge of health, they were in charge of roads, the machinery, and so forth.
The Majimbo constitution created 8 regional assemblies, headed by prominent politicians. Former President Daniel Moi was the president of the Rift Valley Regional Assembly. Ronald Gala, president of the Coast Regional Assembly. Charles Rubia headed the Nairobi Area Regional Assembly. Yusuf Haji, president of the Northeastern Regional Assembly. Wafula Wabuge headed Western. Lucas Gureti was in Central. Eastern, Geoffrey Mugo, and John Keragori, who headed Nyanza. The fear of the center losing political and economic power became a threat to Kenyatta's rule.
That time, Jaramogi Odinga was the Minister for Home Affairs, and internal affairs were therefore falling under him. And he made it very clear that those secretaries and those provincial administrators will have to continue reporting to his ministry and seeking direction and authority from there and so on. So that's how provincial administration continued. Then they brought an amendment to abolish the regional assemblies. They were removed. Then we remained with the local government. Next thing was an amendment to remove the Senate.
The Constitution of Kenya Amendment Act No. 38 of 1964 sought to weaken the regional governments by making them dependent on the central government. In 1966, the Constitutional Amendment Act No. 40 abolished the Senate and the House of Representatives, creating the National Assembly. Senators were absorbed in the National Assembly. The final nail on the devolution coffin was in 1968, when all the provincial councils were abolished and no regionalism laws appealed.
But I witnessed them being destroyed. That's what I did. Both as a DO and as an officer in OP, I witnessed that. How? Were they destroyed? You know, it's just like now the way we are now, and just like the Berlin Conference, where you subdivide and weaken. What they did, an example of Kiambu County Council. You will come, create Kiambu Municipal Council. You create an overhead from the same taxation of the citizen. Karuri, you create an overhead. Ruiru County Council, and you get a mayor.
The quest to revive Majimboism would later emerge through coast politicians like Sharif Nasir during the Moi era, coinciding with the agitation for democracy and a new constitution in the late 90s and early 2000s, a struggle that again humiliated former President Mwai Kibaki in the 2005 referendum, when Kenyans rejected the draft constitution for creating an imperial presidency. Kibaki was to later give the country a new constitution in 2010, with devolution at the heart of the document, giving birth to the country's 47 counties. It's been a long, arduous journey for Kenyans to reap the full benefits of devolution. Given the discomfort it caused to the power elites, this year's devolution conference, themed The Present and the Future, will be seeking to iron out the remaining sticky issues. Apul Kamau, TV47 in Nairobi.
All right, thank you, Apul Kamau, for that. Quite a whole story, really, talking about the whole devolution and how it has worked, or maybe not, in devolution in 10 years now. And basically, the whole big question would really be, has it worked for you where you are? This coming on the backdrop of leaders in particular areas wanting additional counties, having from the 47 having even more, pushing this all the way to 52. This has been a conversation that has been in the country for quite a minute now, and we expect to see if it is going to be revived even as the 8th conference of the 10th, basically the devolution conference, to mark 10 years of devolution. Steering away from matters devolution for a bit, let me update you on matters what Equity Bank are saying at the moment. It is an event that is ongoing at the moment. Equity Bank reports emerging trend that seems like Kenyans don't want to pay bank loans. This is an event that we'll be following up on and giving you the latest on what is happening there. Basically, even the CEO saying liquidity above 50%, equity still reigns supreme among banks. The return on equity about 27.7%. Cost of risk basically being high at 1.9%. Also, non-performing loans coverage dropped from 107.9% to 75% in Kenyan subsidiary YY, and also so far DRC is outperforming Kenya. So this is still, I'm trying to handpick a number of interesting bits and notable bits on that event. Government is pulling out on domestic borrowing by 500 billion so far, and that they project the interest rates that will go down, and we'll be giving you more on that. But then now, away from matters equity, let's cross over all the way to Kakamega County, where Violet Auma is. Violet, a very good morning to you. I believe Kakamega will also be represented in Uasin Gishu County. What do the residents of Kakamega County want to hear about the whole devolution conference? What is happening today in Kakamega County, Violet?
Yeah, thank you so much. Of course, in Kakamega County, locals are so receptive, especially when it comes to matters devolution. Initially, when we used to have a centralized government, many will say there wasn't, they didn't really see the equal distribution of resources in different places. But of course, with the devolution, they have been able to see a lot in terms of different departments, different sectors. I mean, in Kakamega County, we have a number of roads that have been tarmacked and hospitals done in different parts. And of course, according to them, they say actually it is a plus as much as we have hitches here and there in terms of devolution. But for them, they are so optimistic that this will really help in terms of ensuring that resources trickle down to a common. And in Kakamega County, one thing that I also noted is that, as much as we've had bursaries through CDF, also county government has been offering bursaries through the MCS, through the wards, whereby the previous government, the previous regime under Governor Wycliffe Oparanya, we had every MCA, every ward was receiving 2 million in terms of bursaries, but this regime under Fernandez Baraza, they have already added the amount from 2 million to 4 million, and the locals are actually saying this will really help in terms of ensuring that even the needy in the villages also get bursaries to, to pursue their education and all that. That is just but one, but of course in other sectors, locals have a lot to say, but let me bring them in. I don't know if they are for devolution, and basically probably they will also share with us what they have seen, the impact that they have seen devolution as we, of course, as we see now, right now we have a conference in Uasin Gishu, just to see the strides that have been made by devolution. Kwa majina, labda pengine kwako unaweza tueleza kwako wewe ugatuzi tangu ugatuzi mwaka 2013. Kwako unaona kwamba umekuwa na manufaa kwa wananchi?
Mimi kwa majina naitwa Adam Siokali, nikiwa mkazi wa hapa Kakamega. Kile naweza sema kulingana na ugatuzi kweli, kusema ukweli, imeleta maendeleo makubwa sana hapa nchini. Na hata tunashangaa hizo pesa zinatumika sasa kwa county, wakati ule zilikuwa wapi? Kwa sababu tunapoangalia kuna barabara za lami zimeweza kufika hata kule vijijini mahali hatukuwa tunatarajia, na hata stima imeweza kusambazwa, na hata huduma ya afya tumeweza kuona hospitali zikijengwa na hata madawa ikipatikana katika mahospitali, ambapo nasema hii ugatuzi inapomaliza miaka 10 iendelee zaidi so that tuweze kupata maendeleo. Na pia nimeona kumekuwa na competition kubwa sana wakati huu, wakati pesa ya CDF, that is national government, saa hii wakati MPs wanapata hiyo pesa, inabidi wakompete na counties kuweza kujenga mashule, ambapo hiyo pesa haikuwa inajitokeza hivyo. Na hata saa hii tunaona ile competition kati ya CDF na county kuhusu kupeana basari. Watoto wengi wameweza kupata basari zile za ward, na hata wale wanapata zile za nation. Kwa hivyo tunasema ugatuzi imeturahisishia maisha na inafanya hali ya maisha inakuwa mzuri kabisa. Katika maendeleo kule vijijini tumeona hata maji imeanza kusambazwa, ambapo lilikuwa jambo nadra sana. Watu wengi tumechota maji mitoni na hatukuwahi jua kunaweza kuwa na pipe za maji. Sasa tunaona county inakuja na mikakati ambazo tunaona zitaweza kufikia kila mwananchi kule mashinani, na tunashukuru sana. Tunasema ugatuzi iendelee, na chochote kile kinakuja kwa ugatuzi kisirudi kwa national government. Tumeona ya kwamba mambo kuhusu misitu. Zamani tulikuwa tuna misitu, na hizo misitu hatukuwa tunaweza jua hii ni msitu ya serikali ama hii ni msitu ya nini. Lakini saa hii serikali inaweza kuzingira zile misitu na kuhifadhi ndio tuweze kupata maji mengi, sababu tunajua misitu hizo ndio kitovu cha maji katika nchi hii.
Wajua hapa katika kaunti ya Kakamega na magharibi mwa Kenya kwa ujumla, kilimo haswa ndo kitovu, na hususan hata nchini Kenya. Kwenu kama wakazi wa kaunti ya Kakamega, mmenufaika kivipi kuhusiana na masuala ya kilimo, haswa tukizingatia ugatuzi?
Upande wa kilimo naona tumeweza kufaidika zaidi, sababu kile jambo la kwanza serikali za ugatuzi zimeweza kufanya aswa Kakamega County, wamepeana mbolea kwa wale watu kwa bei nafuu, na hiyo mbolea imeweza kufikia kila mwananchi ule anaweza kulima, na hata kumekuwa na wale maafisa nyanjani wale wa kuweza kusaidia wakulima wetu, na habari zile zinaweza wasaidia upande wa kilimo. Na kilimo ukiangalia kama sehemu yetu ni sehemu ya kupanda mahindi, imewezesha watu wetu kuweza at least kila boma ukienda utapata mtu ameweza kuvuna mahindi, na hiyo ni kuweza kupigana na njaa ambayo imekuwa ni hatari sana.
Afya ni kitu cha muhimu sana kwa Wakenya. Labda pengine tukimaliza na wewe tuende kwa ule jamaa pale. Serikali iliyokuwepo ilianzisha la referral hospital hapa katika kaunti ya Kakamega. Kumekuwepo na vitu vingi tu ambavyo wameanzisha katika sekta ya afya. Kwako kama mkazi, umenufaika kivipi katika sekta ya afya?
Mimi kama mkazi upande wa afya, kile naweza sema hospitali zimewekwa katika viwango ndogo ndogo, na unapoangalia kuna ile sehemu ile mwananchi wa kawaida anaweza enda kutibiwa bila pesa. Ukitoka hapo utapanda juu upate mahali kuna pesa inahitajika kidogo, alafu ukikuja juu unapata zile hospitali kama hizo referrals unapata ziko, na pia kuna madawa, ambapo wakati zilikuwa kwa serikali ya juu ilikuwa ni vigumu za zingine kupata madawa. kama kuna magonjwa kama ya pressure, magonjwa kama ya kisukari, hayo ni magonjwa ambaye imeguza watu wengi, jamii nyingi katika familia zetu.
Sawa, mwisho kabla sija kuachilia, nataka unieleze tu, saa hizi ndio tuna serikali za ugatuzi za kaunti. Kwako unataka ni kitu kipi haswa, tukizungumzia kwa ujumla, kinastahili kufanywa na serikali iliyopo kwa sasa katika kuhakikisha mwananchi ananufaika?
Mimi kile kitu naona kinaweza kufanyika ni ufisadi. Sababu hizi sendi zinapokuja ni kama unaweza sema walidevolve ufisadi. Ufisadi ilitoka juu ikakuja chini. Na iwapo watapunguza ufisadi, hizi pesa ziweze kufanya kazi, wananchi wataweza kunufaika. Yeah.
Asante sana. Kwako majina yako kaka, tueleze, alafu na wewe unaona kwamba ugatuzi umesaidia kivipi ama umenufaika vipi kama mkaazi kupitia ugatuzi?
Mimi kwa majina naitwa Alfred Mieshi, natoka Lurambo constituency. Nitazungumzia maneno ya katika kaunti yangu ya Kakamega. Kutoka 2013 mpaka 2022, mheshimiwa alikuwa kwa Mr. Governor Ambeto Oparanya, alitufanyia kazi mzuri. Ukienda ndani kwa risafu utapata hospitali zimejengwa, utapata barabara inapitika. Lakini wakati huu ni ngumu mheshimiwa Parasa, nafikiria hawezi kufikia lengo mheshimiwa Ambeto Oparanya, msingi ambao Ambeto alikuwa ameanzisha. Number 2, mimi nasikia kila siku upande wa elimu. Hapa kwa kaunti tuko na Minister of Education. Lakini pasa ya constituency ya mbunge inafikia mwananchi wa kawaida. Lakini hii ya county, Minister of Education wa county, watu wengi wa Kakamega county, hata sisi hatumjui, hata pasa yake sijui inapeona kwa njia gani, lakini kama ya mbunge pasa tunaipata. Ya 3, kilimo. Hii kilimo nazungumzia kuanzia wakati serikali ya ugatuzi ilianza. Ningelisi Minister of Agriculture waende kwa kila vijiji. Vile serikali nyingine ya Moi alikuwa anaanzisha kuzuia mmomonyoko ya udongo. Watu wa agriculture waende katika vijiji, wafundishe wananchi vile wanaweza lima, vile wanaweza zuia mmomonyoko ya udongo, kwa mporoko pahali mteremko inasoa maji, mpaka lazima tukue na Minister of Agriculture atoke kwa ofisi, atembelee vijiji, na hiyo ministry yaanzishe project ya kuanzia kufundisha wananchi katika vijiji jinsi vile tunaweza pata mahindi. Yeah.
Sawa. Asante sana, hayo ni maoni yako kaka. Tupate mwingine kidogo, kama mwingine anaweza tueleza kwako wewe mwenyewe umenufaika kivipi na ugatuzi, na labda pengine serikali iliyopo inastahili kufanya nini haswa kuhakikisha kwamba mkaazi ananufaika na ugatuzi?
Kwa majina naitwa Tony Ogola. Mimi kwa maoni yangu upande wa ugatuzi imetusaidia sana, kwa sababu iko vijana wengi wenye ambao walikuwa hawajapata kazi. Sasa hivi walipata kazi kupitia kwa ugatuzi. Na kitu naweza sema waendelee sana kusaidia watu kuleta kazi kwa vijana, ili vijana wengi wasipotelee huko nyumbani na kuiba vitu za watu. Yes. Kuna
sekta nyingi, kuna departments nyingi katika ugatuzi. Tunazungumzia mambo na kuna kilimo, kuna afya, kuna elimu. Kwako unaona kwamba ni sekta ipi ambayo imefanya vizuri sana tangu ujio wa serikali za ugatuzi? Pande yangu naweza sema upande wa health, ugatuzi imejaribu kutengeneza, imeleta hospitali mingi katika kaunti, lakini shida penye inatokea sana, unapata wameleta hizo hospitali but madawa kupata wananchi inakuwa ni shida sana. So kitu wajaribu sana kufanya, wajaribu kupiga jeki upande wa kuleta madawa kwa hizo hospitali. Yes. Sasa tusikie kauli yako kaka, naomba usonge kidogo. Tueleze majina, songa hapa tafadhali. Tueleze majina yako na tueleze serikali za ugatuzi kwako zimekufaidi vipi?
Kwa majina naitwa Chris Musongo, natoka Mumias East Sub County. Ugatuzi imesaidia vijana wengi, imesaidia wale makontrakta wadogo wamefanya kuinuka, kujenga county, barabara zinapitika kila mahali. Na nasisitiza pia gavana aliyopo kwa sasa Fernandes Barasa ashikilie pale penye Oparanya aliwaachia. Oparanya aliwacha hii county ikiwa level mzuri sana, ambapo astahili airudishe chini, nitakana ashikilie na inue kabisa. Yeah.
Sawa. Kwako kaka, labda pengine ndio tukienda kumaliza, kwako wewe ugatuzi umekufaidi vipi?
Mimi kama mkaaji wa Katusi, kwa majina naitwa Josephat Kibole, mkaazi wa jimbo la Kakamega. Mimi yangu aswa ndazungumzia kwa upana kulingana na upande wa kilimo. Hiyo sasa ndio uti la mgongo wa kila mwananchi. Sasa hapo ndio nataka devolution imefanya kazi mzuri sana. Imechenga mabarabara, imechenga bridges, kila mahali ambapo kwa pitika panapitika. Sasa nitakana kuja wasame kwamba katika upande wa kilimo. Sama upande wa kilimo, kwa hizo pembejeo wasiti kupanua na walete nyingi na wafundishe wakulima namna ya kuzitumia. Ndiposa chakula ikiwa kingi katika Katusi letu Kakamega kama katika kaunti zote mzima za Kenya. Upande wa matibabu, sababu huwezi kula kama wewe ni mgonjwa. Ndakana ule kama wewe ni mzima. Na uzima ni kutibiwa. Sasa hizi health centers wamepeleka kila mahali, tunasema na asante. Lakini wasifuatilie, waweke matawa, wafuatilie, waweke daktari, wafuatilie madaktari, wasiweke makoti kwa viti na kutoka kutumia wananchi. Wa make sure wale wakuu wa hospitali wanafuatilia hadi chini kule, wajue kwamba kazi inafanyika, wananchi wanatibiwa, na zote zile ambazo zinafanyika maitawa yako yamo ndani ya hospitali mule, ndiposa wananchi wanapopata uzima kupona na kujifungua kwa njia iliyo nzuri, basi hapo maisha yatakuwa yanaendelea mzuri. Nirudi katika upande mwingine wa elimu. Elimu, yale pesa ambayo kaunti zinapeana katika mambo ya bursaries, ndakana waongeze na uende ndani kabisa.
Labda waongeze kutoka wapi mpaka pimana? Tayari katika regime iliyopita ilikuwa ni milioni 2 kwenda kwa basari za ward, sasa hiyo wameongeza 4, sasa ni milioni 4. Labda kwako kama mkazi unafikiri waongeze mpaka kiasi gani ndio kiwe kinamfaidi yule mwananchi wa chini?
Inakana iende kupitia kwa milioni 5 na zaidi, kwa sababu sasa hivi wananchi wameongezeka ni wengi. Aswa ile jimbo letu Kakamega wananchi ni wengi wa ajabu. Sasa hapo hizo milioni 5, 4, 3 siwezi faidi. Kwa hivyo ndakana ziongezeke na wa make sure wale watu ambao wanatumia hizo pesa na wale ambao wanahitaji, uko na mahitaji. Sio tu wale pesa ambao watu wanajiweza ndio wanatumia hizo pesa, na wale ambao hawajiwezi wanapaki mle ndani. Hiyo pia itakuwa kosa kubwa zaidi.
Kikubwa ambacho kinastahili kufanywa na serikali iliyopo ya ugatuzi ni kipi hasa kuhakikisha kwamba nyinyi kama wakaazi mnaona kwamba kuna manufaa zaidi ya ugatuzi?
Na kupata manufaa zaidi ya ugatuzi, hiki inaitwa public participation. Hii public participation, ile mimi naona ikifanyika hapa, naona vitu vingine kifanyike, vitu ambavyo sio haifai hizo. Public participation ndakana sitoke kule kwa wards, sikikuja juu mpaka kwa sub counties. Sio watu walikuja mwaka jana ndio wanakuja leo ndio wanakuja. Hiyo sio public participation. Hiyo ni ukora, ujanja ambao haifai. Nataka tuanze kuona kama tuliona wakina John na Peter wakati ule, tuone watu wengine mwaka ule unapita ule Mungu. Nao wanakuja. Hiyo ndio itakuwa sasa, hiyo ni public participation. Ndio wapate haswa yale wananchi wako naye chini kule waweze kuyatumia, itawasaidia sana. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so thank you so much. As you've heard, those are just reactions or rather sentiments from the locals in Kakamega County, just, highlighting some of the things, positive and of course negative as well, that needs to be done, the strength of devolution, and also some of the things that they really need to, put in, to put in more effort to ensure that residents, get the benefits of devolution. But one thing that have actually come out is that public participation is key, and they need to be held in different places, mashinani, from the ward level to the sub-county and the county level, just to ensure that locals are given exactly what they need, because most of the time they have been complaining that they have been given a hospital and what they needed is a school or maybe water or something like that. But of course, with the 6-point agenda that the current governor, Fernandez Baraza, has, highlighted, or rather in his in manifesto, we hope that probably if they're implemented, then locals probably will have, ensure that they are reprieved with a lot of issues that have been going through. But of course, above and all is that they are so optimistic and they believe that it has been impactful in their lives, especially devolution. I take it back to you.
All right, thank you, Violet Homa, for that. In Kakamega County, that conversation definitely continues even online, how devolution has impacted you 10 years later. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back. ST on matters communication is expected to, have a meeting with Data Protection Commissioner on matters the security of data of Kenyans who participated in WorldCoin, a story that will be following up on, even as also the whole devolution conference goes on. And just a reminder, by the way, yesterday was the 14th of August, and you know what always happens on every 14th around midnight? The Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority reviews the fuel prices. And as of now, for the next 1 month, the fuel prices remain unchanged in the review. So super petrol will remain at 194.68 Kenyan shillings, diesel 179.67 shillings, and kerosene 169.48. This is petrol per litre. So we'll be taking a look at how this will be going on, even as the president has decided to lift the whole subsidy, story that has been on the front page of, I can see it on Daily Nation, saying state explores fuel subsidy to chuck rising pump prices. Government, exploring a cheaper fuel consignment to reduce the runaway retail prices, but has to compensate oil dealers still selling the expensive stocks. So on one hand, even as the government tries to have a cheaper fuel consignment, the whole fuel prices still remain unchanged. You can see also the economic advisor to the president had what he had to say on that. So we'll definitely be taking a look at how that will be unfolding in the country. We'll be crossing over to Mombasa in a few. Paul Manu is there just to have matters, the IGAD Women, Peace and Security Forum. I don't know if we have Paul Manu ready. All right, Paul Manu, a very good morning to you. How hot or cold is it in Mombasa right now? That particular story on matters the IGAD Women, Peace and Security Forum. Take us up to speed on that.
Well, thank you so much, Stanley. We are having a rainy morning here in Mombasa. And of course, we have so much lined up for you, including the story that you have just mentioned about the IGAD Women, Peace and Security Forum Conference, which is meant to happen today and tomorrow in this sitting. Of course, this will to officially operationalize the IGAD Women, Peace and Security Forum. And of course, it stands as a pivotal moment in promoting the gender equality within the IGAD countries. And of course, apart from that, we are speaking matters devolution. I want to mention that since devolution started, Mombasa County has taken so many steps to make sure that they, equalize what we call democracy and accountability within this county, which has 6 constituencies and of course 30 wards. And being the smallest county in Kenya, of course we have achieved a lot, and we hope we will be able to speak about that in the conference that is happening later, or rather happening in Eldoret. Well, I just want to mention some of the resources where resources comes from in Mombasa County. This county borders Kilifi to the north, Kwale County to the south, and of course to the west we have the Indian Ocean, which is the main source of tourism, the nature tourism, and of course so many amenities, so many factors and significant factors that attract tourism in this particular region. We have beaches, we have historical significance in this region, the rich culture, the music, the language. We also have diversity in this county. Well, of course, that is the reason why Mombasa County was termed as one of the best performing counties in Kenya. And of course, we closed the last financial year with zero pending bills, as mentioned by the county governor, Abdul Somad Sharif Nasir. We also have fishing and agriculture. For those people who don't know that, we have agriculture in Mombasa. We have crab farming, we have seaweed farming, we have beekeeping in the mangroves, and of course, it is a lot that happens in this particular region. We have fishing, which is one of the main economic factor for the people living around, or rather at the coastline of the Indian Ocean. Also, we have property taxes, just to mention, and of course the licenses, the licensing fees, and that is what promotes and gives these people what we call the resources to be able to run the county and to promote good health and such matters. Well, of course, we have seen the increment of better healthcare. We have seen modern sporting facilities, enhanced infrastructure development, and of course, we have seen the county government doing what we call youth and women empowerment in this particular region. And of course, we cannot forget that Mombasa is also the gateway of the East African region, and by saying this, I mean the port of Mombasa, which is the entry gate of so many things that we import, through the sea. Talk of, vehicles, talk of machinery, talk of foods, and all of those other things. And of course, this is what we expect our leaders from this particular region to speak about and to be proud of when they speak and stand at the dais when we'll be having that conference of the devolution. From this region, I wanted to take it back to you in the studio standing here in Gita and wish you all the best as you continue updating our viewers on matters devolution and morning coffee. My name is Paul Munio, and from my camera person Brian Barasa, we wish you a very good day.
For that, all the way in County 001, and asante sana for that. I'm yours truly, Stanley Nyeringita, also on behalf of Flora Limuki. Asante sana for sticking around. This has been an amazing 4 hours right here. Hashtag Morning Cafe. We'll obviously be crossing over to in Eldoret